Okay, we can run through a few practice games now. We'll just shuffle up a bit. One thing I did forget to do in the deck profile was go through the tokens. But that not going to matter too much. There's only 3 we run. The bird, the lion, and the ancient artifact. And we did talk about them during the deck profile though, so that's not too big of a deal. We will run the Garula as our glory card for the first game. And then for the second test, we will run the Seraph, just to kind of see how that goes. Anyway, we will draw our starting hand, and let's begin. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll just get some counters to track the play points, and let's take a look. 4, 4, 4, 4. This doesn't seem particularly good, I'll be honest. We could play these on 4, but they have Evo, so they're more like 5 drops. And we don't want the 4 execution just yet, that's more of a mid-game. So this is definitely going to be a mull. We do have a good number of 1, 2, and 3 drops, so we do have a good chance of getting something better. Let's see. Not particularly good, but we are stuck with it now. Let's just start anyway. So start, we will draw for turn for 3 play points. That is interesting, but we don't want to play it just yet. Again, this is one of the problems with Havencraft, is that it's a very reactive deck. A lot of the cards, they gain more value the later in the game they're played, because you could trade, let's say, a 3 cost play for a 6, 7, 8 cost play. It is also a shame that we pull Noble Fangs, because we won't be able to pull it off the Garula. But hey, guess we'll just pass the first turn. Now that's not too much of a problem, because in the first turn you're not likely to get hit. Everyone's just playing their first 3 drop. So it's fine. It's only in the later turns where we start to leave ourselves open, which is not particularly good. Anyway, starting the next turn, turn 4, we will draw. Still nothing that good, but at least we do have a quick spell. That's going to be useful. It will probably let us banish 1 attack, and we might get hit once during the next turn, so let's just pretend that happens. As it goes around, someone will run into us, and at this point, it's not likely to have more than 3 health. So we will play for 2. So then we fall over 3 defense or less, banish it. We will banish it. That brings us down to 2. Not that we could do anything with it. And let's say another follower does hit us for 2, and then that's the end there. So again, draw with 5 play points. Still really nothing. Again, lots of reactive cards, and I'll be honest, this is pretty typical of a Haven deck, right? Of this particular Haven deck. It's just, we are kind of bricked. Now, if there is a threat on the board, we could liner, but generally we don't want to do that, right? Again, we gain more value the later it's played. We have 6 cards in hand. We are leaving ourselves open for yet another turn. However, it probably, well, not probably, it is the best option. You can recover a lot in the later game. Look, we've got Lina, we've got Lucifer, and we've already drawn Aegis. So we're not too worried. You take it early, and you recover and overwhelm in the late game. Okay, but it goes around again. Maybe we'll get hit a couple of times. We draw, and finally we're on turn 6. Lucky, because we drew another high cost. Okay, we are going to slam down the Garula for 6 play points, and we are going to search out a 1 and a 3 cost card. That 1 cost is going to be Sacred Plea, usually always the best. And how many cards do we have in our hand? We already have 7, so we do not want to draw another one. That means Beast Call Aria should be the best play. We do not want to summon the Mystic Artifact because then that will overcap us on the hand size. We'll have to discard. So that's no good. Alright, we've shuffled a little bit, that's fine. The beast called Aria will summon a Holy Falcon. We will attack with the Holy Falcon. Most likely we will trade. Again, trading, we don't really need to go face because we will go for the exhaustion win condition. So trading with the Falcon makes sense. You just want to get stuff off the board so they don't hit you. Next, we will evolve for an evolution point. Because it's likely that we do have one, assuming we didn't start. Even if we don't have an evolution point, you would still play the Gorilla because it is the best attack this turn. So we do evolve into the Evo. We will swing, we will trade, again, trade into something with the rush just to clear the board more. We want an empty board as much as possible. Whoops. We want an empty board, so there's not as much threat to us. Then at the end of the turn, the effect will trigger. We will deal 2 damage to a follower. Again, prioritize followers over face. We are an exhaustion deck, a control deck. Of course, if there is no followers, we deal it to a leader, but it's only 2. It doesn't really matter much. At the end of a turn, we have 7. That's fine, so the turn goes around. This obviously gets removed during opponent's turn. And then we draw with 7 play points. Okay. With 7, we have a good amount of options. We could float some to be able to activate the execution. But probably best is just to slam down the Lucifer. So we will do that. Lucifer for 7. We do not want to tap and draw with this because again we have 7 cards in hand, also 7 play points. The question is now, do we evolve? That does depend on the state of the board and our health. Seems like we've probably been hit like for 7 HP. I'd say that's about reasonable that we're down from 30 to 23 right now. So healing does seem good. It is 4 and we do get a ward if we do so. However, evolving does give us the 4 damage to everyone, which in this case we're kind of like racing them. Just thinking about this, I actually like the Evo. The reason being, we already have the Aegis combo in our hand. That's going to guarantee us 1 turn of invulnerability pretty much. And having this already on turn 9 potentially is very, very strong. It's a huge swing. So we are going to take the risky route. We are going to Evo with Bane. We are not going to attack with it or trade because we want it to stay on the board. We want it to be a threat that they have to spend some removal on. So that's going to end our turn. At the end of our turn, we deal 4 damage to each enemy leader, and then it goes around. Now, does this get removed during opponents' turns? They do have 7 play points. Most likely, at least one of them has some sort of removal for reserved followers. So we'll say they play like something similar to an execution on it. Fine, that's expected. Let's say we do get hit a couple of times, so now we're down to 17 to 20 health, something like that. Not a problem, that's still a big buffer. We will move on to the next turn with 8 play points. Draw. Okay, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We do need to play something, but it's a little bit tricky to figure out what. Most likely we will drop the laner now. They probably have something with at least 5 health. Someone has something with at least 5 health. So that seems fine. We'll slam that down for 3. Then let's consider whether we evo or not and whether we use an evo point. So we have 5 left. With 5, we could float the execution. That might be fine. We could drop the Ancient Amplifier. We do know on turn 9 that we want to play this combo, which means we do have to discard 3 cards. What are the 3 cards we discard? Most likely... that's a bit tricky. What amulets do we have? Not much. It will most likely be this, because we don't really have any good amulets in the discard at the moment. Or maybe we could pop these and then have enough. Interesting, interesting. We could even pop this on the Aegis turn to get an extra card in our hand, since we're discarding anyway. That seems good. This one we could pop right now so that the Chorus of Prayer would be good. We could drop this. We're probably dropping this on turn 10 after the Aegis to get the max value out of it. So we're definitely not discarding this. And so this becomes a late game card after turn 10. So turn 11 play. That seems fine. We do draw 1 from this. And on the turn we play Aegis. So we will have 2 extra we could discard. We have 2 amulets here, 3 amulets. So these 2 are pretty guaranteed, I would think, just to refill our hand. So either one of these 2 is going to be the one of the amulets revive with Chorus of Prayers. But which one is better? I would say that the Ancient Amplifier is better. However, we're going to... That's a bit tricky. We'll put that as a maybe. This is a good card, right? Because you draw a card that's an insight, you replace itself with probably, I don't know. And they're all good cards. This is a bit tricky. We have 5 play points left. I think we will use an Evo point if we have one for Lina. So Lina Evos, it has Bane and Ward. It does get its effect at the end of the turn, so that's fine. We'll save this. We can pop this, but that'll leave us with 3. 3 means we can summon this, which means we'll have 5, which means one of them will have to die in order to play the Aegis and this. So 2 of them will have to die. Okay, I do not like playing this. This seems like it will lock our board. So we will float 5 in order to be able to play these 2 during opponent's turns if the opportunity comes up. Now, if we didn't have an Evo point, I think I would still evolve so that we had 4 play points. That would only remove the option of playing the Dark Offering, but I don't think that's too much of an issue. So, that's what happens. Let's say during the turn, something does try to get in like a big threat. We're just going to execute that. It would be nice to use it on an amulet, or maybe we do use it on an amulet. Depends the state of the board. It is quite hard to simulate Haven decks just because of how reactive it is. Right, with something like Sword, you have the same game plan every time. It's just what order you play your minions. For something like Rune or Haven, it's much harder to simulate because your play varies very wildly on the state of the board, on the state of your health, so on and so forth. But we'll say we do that, and we'll say that we don't use Dark Offering, and we'll say that Lina does get eventually discarded. Okay, next turn 9, we draw. That's pretty useless, so it's a good Aegis play. Aegis discard. We will just slam it down. Aegis. Aegis Aura cannot be destroyed by abilities. And we are going to Evo by discarding 3 cards. That's the first card we discard. Then we will discard this. Oh, hold on. Let's not Evo first. Let's crack this first. So order. We draw another card. Israfel. Do we crack that? Do we discard that? I think probably not. I think it's probably too good of a late game card to do so. So it is going to be these three. This is a fine discard, this is a fine discard, and this is, these are the draw cards, which is unfortunate. However, we can definitely drop the Chorus of Prayer at some time to fill up our hand, so that's no problem. Aegis will evolve. Evolve. Where is it? I must have, here we go. A bit tricky to see. Now, for the rest of this turn and during opponent's turns, this follower doesn't take damage. We will then finish off the combo by playing Guardian Sun for 1. This Aegis now gains ward. We will trade in, let's say, to discard an opponent follower, and it will be warded until our next turn. Well, actually it's warded forever, but it will be invulnerable until our next turn. So, turn goes around, nothing's able to get through. Finally, on our 10th turn, we will draw. These untap. And what's the plan here? Probably, I would say, is to drop this. Noble Fangs. This is 6 in total. And then we can also pop this and pop this. So that does seem like a good plan. So we're going to crack the Guardian Sun for 2, give this +2/+1, so it's now a 12 attack, 11 Heavenly Aegis. We are going to drop this for 3. Set an enemy follower on the field, so this will do 12 to an enemy follower on the field. That should be good. Then we will crack this for 3 immediately. Should we crack it for 3 immediately? It is a quick, but I think that's fine because it isn't really needed as a quick right now. Like, we can just do it straight up. We remove a follower and we hit face really hard. So we crack this for 3, that brings us down to 2. We deal 12 damage to a different follower and 12 damage to that leader's face. Then we will swing into that leader's face because we've already destroyed 2 followers. If they had any wards, they're gone. So that is 24 damage to an opponent. They are dead. Dead. And then for our final action of the turn, we will pop this, crack it for 2, to summon a Holy Tiger with Rush. Now, if there's any other follower on board that can be attacked into, I guess we will just trade, because this still has ward, right? The Aegis still has ward, so next turn they will still have to get through 11 health. Cool. We'll finish off the game there. We've, despite our very bad early game, very passive early game, which is pretty common, you can see the power of our late game. It's a very strong. Just an example for the next turn. Let's just say Aegis does get discarded. Fine, maybe they find the out for it. Then we Chorus of the Prayers. Chorus of the Prayers, we can bring back like a Storm. We can bring back like a Drawer. We can bring back like this drawer as well. All of a sudden we are like filling up our hand. And we've got some nice late game threats. It's all going very well. Excellent. So I'm really glad we got to show off that Aegis combo. We're going to go into the next game. So I'll shuffle up and I'll cut here. Okay, we are back. We've shuffled up and we've actually changed our glory card. It is now the one and only Seraph, my favorite card of all time. We are going to play it on 6 no matter what, and we'll kind of see how it goes. I think what will probably happen is you'll notice that it's a lot weaker than Garula. However, hopefully we get a massive turn 10 play. Let's go. So we will draw 4 to mulligan. Not to mulligan, to draw 4. Okay. This is very interesting. So the Aether we would really like to draw off of Seraph. The Will to Overtake would be nice to combo into the Gold Ship. White Swan's just a generic good card, and Mystic Ring is a combo with the Aether for the Seraph. I think if we had not have drawn the Mystic Ring to put the Aether back, we would mulligan this card. This is a bit tricky. This is actually really tricky, so I'm trying to think far ahead to this Seraph play. We really want Loki. We really want Loki from this and the Aether of the White Wing. However, if we draw Loki, we can only put one of them back. If we mulligan this and we draw Loki, we can't put it back because Mystic Ring will be at the bottom of the deck, assuming we don't shuffle. Also, the Will to Overtake will be at the bottom in case we draw Gold Ship, but Searching Amulets is fine. Additionally, we have to draw a 3-drop, a 4-drop. This is a fine 5-drop into a 6-drop. Then we don't have a 7 or a 1. Man, very, very tricky actually, but I am going to mulligan it. Hopefully this isn't the wrong choice, but yeah, very tricky actually. Let's just go, see what we get. Okay, some much nicer early game to carry us through the power trough by playing Seraph, right? Because if we have Garula, turn 6 is a power spike. But for this one, it's a power trough. Alright, let's begin. So, start with 3 play points. Draw. Pretty good, pretty good. Do we just pop the Sacred Plea now for a draw 2? I think... it's a bit tricky. I think we will start off with the Beast called Arya, just to have some board presence, so we will summon the Falcon there. The reason we're doing this now is because we always have the option of summoning a 2 play point Holy Tiger. Whereas if we need the rush on a later turn, we would have to pay 3 plus 2, 5 in one shot. So I like this idea of getting it out early, so you have so you can only pay 2 for the Tiger. We will go face to someone, doesn't really matter. No one's got an engaged follower 99% of the time. So I don't know, just pick like a Rune or something. Rune's one of the ones we have to watch out for. Maybe Abyss as well. Cool. So the turn goes around. Because we have a engaged follower, it's going to be very easily removed. And we will move on to turn 4, draw. Okay, Jean is definitely a turn 6 play or a turn 5 play. I think we will drop this for 1 and then pay 2 to draw 2. We don't really have any other plays. Okay, not too bad. Maybe we should have popped this for a 2 play point 4 rush. But we wouldn't have had any other plays either. On turn 5 we have this plus Evolve if needed. Or maybe this. It's a bit tough, but whatever. It would depend on the situation. But again, because it's Haven, it's a bit hard to predict the situation. That's fine, so it goes around, something happens, whatever. On our next turn we draw for 5. For 5, we will not pop Lena because we need the power to survive through the Seraph turns. We could pop this, deal 2 damage to everything, however that seems more like a late game play. Unless we do 2, 4 and then don't worry about the Evo. That seems kind of fine. I think Jean at this point is much stronger than she would be at a later point. Even 2 damage at this point can get rid of some of the the small dudes played on the turn 3 and the turn 4 by opponents. Again, it's very hard to predict the state of the board, just because there's too many factors when playing a reactive deck like Haven. But I'm actually going to do it. I'm going to play the Gene for 4. And wait, this costs 2. Hold on. I'm an idiot. 3, 4, 5. Well, actually, we could just Evo. 4, 5, 6. Yeah, let's do it. We'll play a 4, and we Evo for 1 and 1 Evo point, assuming we have one, of course. If we didn't have an Evo point, perhaps we would just float for Acolyte's Light. That seems fine as well. Because we have the Evo point, we'll pretend we will just drop... Oh, that's Dark Gene. Here we go. It's a bit tricky to find the normal Gene, because they both look like Dark Gene, eh? So, this gets Evo'd. We deal 4 to everything. And we don't care about giving 2, even though it doesn't proc. And we will trade in. And we trade in because we want to keep the board as clear, as non-threatening as possible, opponent's boards, so that we can drop 6 Seraph as safely as possible. Cool, so that happens during opponent's turns. This does get discarded. When we draw for 6, we will of course plop down the Seraph. Maybe plop is not the nicest word. Yeah, plop is not a very flattering word. We will slam down. Oh no, that doesn't suit the Seraph. We will summon. We will summon the Seraph. That sounds a lot better. Okay, we have 7 cards in hand. That's good. We don't want to discard anything. We have to manage our hand size. That is important. At the end of our turn, we'll put a counter on it. And that should be fine. Now we might get punished a bit for this, like take up to 10 damage, but probably not, maybe 5. But it's hopefully worth it. Anyway, we'll go to turn 7, draw. Interesting, we do not need a lot of draw. This is a combo with Lila. And oh, I just realized we did draw the Loki. So that's going to be a bit of a... We can't do the combo unless we drop this on turn 9. So that when we get the Aether, we can still get it. So yeah, okay, I quite like that. So this is our turn 9 play. We're currently turn 7. We need to survive turn 7 and turn 8. It would be nice to Bahamut on turn 9 though, because we might need it. But turn 7, we could drop the Lucifer to heal. We could banish, but that would make our hand too large. Would it be nice to get this off the combo as well? This is 3 plus 4. We can float if we use an evil point, but we've already used... Okay, we've used 1, so we probably have another 1 left. But I'm going to pretend that we don't actually, that we've used up our 1 and only evil point. If that's the case, I think Lucifer is definitely the obvious play. The question is, do we evolve it? And I actually think no. This is a position where we need to survive until turn 10, and then we can pull off a massive combo. We're not threatening with anything else until then. Like, look at our hand. We're not going to be threatening with anything else. So we're actually just going to ward it and heal 4. Now that seems a bit weak, and sure, it probably is. But we really don't have any better options, to be quite honest. Okay, so the turn ends. We'll put a second counter here. Whoops, then turn will go around. Of course, Lucifer will get discarded. And we will draw on turn 8. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Radiance Angel is interesting, but not particularly powerful. This is... What do we do on turn 9? Turn 9 is most likely these two, right? Because we set it up and then we heal a bit so that we actually survive that turn. That does seem to be the correct play. On turn 8, we can float this for a banish. We can play this for a banish and a draw, but then we overcap on hand size. Even with this, we overcap on hand size. So probably it's either play TM Opera or float Acolyte into Radiance. I like this better because we get the surprise factor. We can maybe, maybe opponents are like, oh, he's floating 4. Why is he floating 4? He must have something, right? So I like that better. We're going to play this for 4 and draw a card. That's fine. That's whatever. And we are going to float this. Now we have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, we have to discard 1. That is... Yeah, I'm sorry. If we haven't drawn Lena by now, we're probably not going to get this combo off. Even though it is a draw 2 on Evo, I think our other cards in the hand, the late game cards, are more valuable. Luckily, this has Ward. It does have an Evo, of course, but we're pretending we don't have another Evo point left. So we don't have enough play points left. This is going to go down to 3. And then we pass turn. So the turn goes around. Radiance does get destroyed. Fine. Expected. Then we draw for 9. 9 play points. So this is our final turn. We already know what we're going to do. We're going to play Loki, Fanfare, double all fanfares next turn. We are going to ward that, of course. Then we are going to play Lina. Lina, set an opponent, they bury a follower, give your leader plus. So we heal maybe 5 to 7, most likely. And it's also another ward. Unlucky we can't evolve it because we don't have a no evolve point. That's fine. We just put up defenses, ward, and now it's finally time. The Seraph gets to 4 counters. Our prayers become victory. So we gain 10, and we search a deck for 2 cards, put them into EX area that cost 0. So, the time we've all been waiting for. We gain 10. That's a massive, massive amount. And then we will put Aether into our EX zone. And what will be our other card? Garula? No, it's too late for Garula. Heavenly Aegis? We don't have too much follow-up for it. Like, we don't have the ward amulet. It seems not powerful enough. This? Let me just think. Do we have a way of searching an amulet next turn? Not really. But we could just gamble with that. See, oh, Israfel is also pretty good. We do double the heal fanfare. And we can evolve it. This one we evolve, this one we heal more and draw a card. But we don't need cards. I'm thinking... Yes, definitely these two, because this is a neutral, and we pull out... We can pull out Aegis with Aether, so that's totally fine. Okay, perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. We will shuffle up, shuffle up, shuffle up. And go on to the opponent's turns. Now, if they're smart and they see the Aether on the board in the EX area, they might not clear our board, or might not clear it fully. 6 attack is a bit of a threat, so let's say they do clear the Loki, but they might not clear the Lina. However, even if they don't clear it, it's likely that on our next turn we can just sack it into something. So it will probably get destroyed either way. Probably going to be a rare situation where this is not destroyed by next turn. And that's good because we really need the board space. very unlucky that we haven't had the chance to pay 2 to get this off the board yet. But oh well, it might not matter. Last turn, turn 10, we will draw. Last turn for the simulation, not last turn overall. Let's move this around. Okay. What order do we drop this? We will Aether. Aether for 0. That will summon... it is less than, right? Yeah, not less than or equal to. That doesn't matter. We can still drop the... Should we pull that? It might be funny to do that. But what else can we do? We could do this, heal even more. Like, we are in such a good position. We've probably healed massive amounts. No. We can't... I wish we would have drawn that. You know what? I'm going to go for it. We could clear the board with that. We could do that for a single target, but it seems a bit of a waste. That's going to fill our board. It's too much. That's kind of useless. Okay, it's between Aegis and Curate. Curate, we draw 2. Aegis, we can evolve for play points. It's got to be Aegis. It would be funny to heal 10, draw 2 here, but nah. We'll go for the more correct play, which is probably the Aegis there. Okay. Now, of course, we get 2 because this triggers twice. And we will shuffle up. So the Aegis comes on board, and then the gold ship. We are going to trigger the gold ship. Okay. If we pull like a 7 cost here, we pretty much just win the game because we get it twice. Okay. Let's see what it is. I've never gotten past 5, okay? So, I've never gotten past 5 in my life. It's probably going to be a 2, right? I called it. Oh, fuck me. Of course it's a 2. Okay, so 2 damage to everything, heal 2. And, okay, what's it going to be? What's it going to be? What's the top card going to be? It's a 2, right? Okay, one day. One day, gold ship will actually be useful. Okay, so funny thing I can do is already give it plus 10. So it becomes 18-18. However, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We could play this for 0. I think we are going to do that. Play it for 0. So fanfare, we gain 8. That's great. 8 is great. Oh, but we can't evo though, because we have... Depends. Are we going to evo this or this? Let's think. If they use a board clear, if it's a damage board clear, it won't get rid of this. They'd probably have to attack into this to get rid of it. I don't think there's a board clear which does 8 just right off the bat. We could, what about this? So I think the order of this is, let's see, bury this card for 2, and then it summons a Holy Tiger. So we should be able to summon the Holy Tiger. If that's the case, we can definitely play something else here. Like, no, we can't play that because this is 2 and this needs 9. We could play this, but as it is, we probably have enough to clear the board. Bit tricky, but I think we will actually evolve the Israfil. The reason being that I'm pretty sure Aegis will survive 1 turn. If that's the case, we can evolve it so it survives another turn guaranteed. So, we evolved for, how much was it, 1? Then we strike, dealing 5 to everything. That's probably going to clear the entire board. We will ward as well. This doesn't do anything. This can't do anything. We can We can pay 2 to get the tiger and trade into that, although probably the board is already clear. We still have 9 though. We're floating 9. It feels bad not to use it for something. I mean, of course we float this for Acolyte's Light, which is good. That's still not a lot. I think we're just going to pop it, right? So we pop this for 2, floating 7, and we're not going to attack because of Israfel, there's probably nothing to attack. Now, even if our board is cleared, we're not too worried about this not doing anything. The main point of proccing the amulet is just to get it off our board so that we have more space. It's like win-win. If this does survive, then we get a 4/4, that's great, that can go face. If it doesn't survive, we still got rid of the beast called Arya, so that's good. And we'll leave it like that. So let's say we do get board cleared. We're just going into some hypotheticals now. We do get board cleared, but not Aegis. We start, and then we do pop the Acolyte's Light. Then we'll just see what we do next turn. Probably we evolve for like maybe we can drop the Bahamut, but we do evolve probably for play points. Right, yeah, we probably evolve for that, and then well, we can't play this anymore. Okay, maybe we don't evolve for play points because then we can drop this. No, we can't drop this. We can drop Bahamut. We can't evolve this, can't evolve this. So maybe we could drop something like this. Anyway, we've got a lot of options. So we're in a pretty good spot, I would say. Just a shame we didn't draw the ward for Aegis to protect us, but we have a lot of resources and we're doing pretty well. This is maybe a second place, depending on what kind of happened. Cool. That is it. I think that was a pretty good showcase. We had that massive turn with the Loki the previous turn, into the Seraph, into the Aether, filling the whole board. So that was pretty cool. But yeah, that is actually the last video of the gameplay and deck Gloryfinder series. Pretty happy with it. Learning video editing and all that is good. Now, still gonna upload more videos depending on what ideas I have. I do have a few. And then eventually I do want to update all the decks with the new booster packs as they come out. And I do want to show some actual Gloryfinder battles. That would be pretty cool. So yeah, if you've watched up to now and you enjoyed it, feel free to stick around. That'd be pretty cool. And let me know if you liked it. Alright, see you next time. Bye-bye.